Welcome to Token Topics. Stronghold has been exploding. We're going to go over the price and more. Stronghold is an impressive project that I've talked about on this channel for some time. We're going to also go over some Stellar news. Stellar XLM is celebrating 1 year of Stellar 8 assists. We're going to dive into some Stellar news and deep dive into Soroban, the smart contract capability, by listening to Tom Emmer. So if you're a Stronghold or Stellar fan, please subscribe so you can stay up to date. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive in. It's important to keep your valuable assets safe. DCENT is running a year-end delight event right now. If you purchase a DCENT Biometric wallet, you are entitled to receive 150 A-Star coins as long as you fill out your form. It's very simple to participate. All you do is you purchase a DCENT Biometric wallet through the affiliate links on my channel. And keep in mind, the more wallets you purchase, the more A-Star coins you receive. So if you made a purchase within the event deadline, which is December 15th through January 3rd, please submit your address by the 14th of January. So you submit it from this form, and I'm going to put this form in the description as well. You're going to be able to see it. And then you submit it. It's hard to believe it's already been a year since Stellar 8 Assist made its debut. So Stellar tweeted out there announcing, "Cheers to 1 year of Stellar 8 Assist." With our partners including Refugee, Circle, MoneyGram, and Vibrant Wallet, some incredible aid delivery milestones have been accomplished, serving 1,500 plus individuals, dispersing $1.1 million and more. Let's recap the future of humanitarian aid. 1 year ago, UNHCR launched a first-of-its-kind aid disbursement system built on blockchain, the Stellar 8 Assist, to deliver funds to people throughout Ukraine. How does it work? Network and technical deployment, a stable digital asset, a user-friendly wallet and global reach, enabling the delivery of urgently needed cash assistance to vulnerable populations quickly and transparently. A turnkey bulk disbursement platform. Stellar 8 Assist is powered by the Stellar Disbursement Platform, an open-source bulk payment solution available anywhere with an internet connection. Organizations can review eligibility and then upload recipient information to the platform and seamlessly initiate a disbursement in seconds. Alright, we got great news for one of Stellar's vital partners. They announced that we have achieved significant early milestone in establishing our European regulatory platform by securing a conditional DAS registration in France and appointing a head of French operations, Ms. Coralie Billman. That is definitely great news. Such great news that Danielle Dixon, she took to Twitter to comment on it. She states, "A win for one is a win for all in the industry. Congratulations to Circle team." Soroban smart contract capabilities for Stellar is a game changer for the industry, and it's a hot topic. So we're going to hear from Tomer from the Stellar Development Foundation. We're going to hear from him on what Soroban is all about and how it's different from the competitors and its advantages and so on.
Working on Soroban, which is our new smart contracts platform. It's a smart contracts platform tailored for the Stellar ecosystem with a new productive tech stack and also a feature set that will hopefully keep the network scalable, efficient, and sustainable for the long term.
And what problem does it solve?
Sure. So, Stellar has always been about creating equitable access to the world's financial system, and that hasn't changed. And I think that we have pretty amazing building blocks, and we have real-world utility already. So we have, we have real-world assets like the Franklin Templeton Benji asset. We have use cases like the aid use case in Ukraine, which is now becoming like bigger disbursements around the world. And so we have all of these things, and with Soroban, what we want to do is we want to enable developers to build more financial instruments. So we just want to increase kind of like the size of their toolbox.
And how does it compete, if I may, with other smart contract platforms?
Sure. When we started this journey like a year and a half ago, looking for smart contract platforms, we saw that a lot of the existing platforms out there were kind of lacking. Both in terms of their feature sets, but also in terms of their scalability features. And Stellar already works at scale, right? And we want to make sure that the smart contracts are not hindering on that. And so we set out to build our own. We are using very well-established standards like WebAssembly, which is this binary bytecode format. We're using Rust, which is a great, safe programming language. But on top of that, we built the feature set that we feel like we needed in order to keep the network efficient and sustainable long term.
What kind of features, if I could ask?
Sure. So, first of all, the actual runtime is super performant. It's kind of like a batteries included experience where a lot of the things that you would need to program for yourself and other platforms, Soroban kind of like gives you for free. Another really big thing that we built into Soroban is this feature called state expiration. And state expiration deals with this very big problem that we have in the world of blockchains that's pretty much ignored, and that is the problem of state bloat, which is, blockchains are effectively databases. And a lot of the data in these databases is, how should I not use profanity? It's right, like things like, an NFT drop from a scammy NFT drop from 2018 that has no value at all, kind of like lives on forever and is like a burden on this database forever. So with state expiration, we built a mechanism so that state can expire if it's not being used, and that ensures that the network remains sustainable long term.
And how does that impact the decentralization aspect?
It's actually great for decentralization because it means that the validators don't need to run very expensive hardware. Because what we see in some of these other networks is in the base requirements for running a validator is becoming more and more extreme. Like you need very expensive machines, you need very expensive hard drives. And so keeping the state in check means that running a validator becomes more inclusive.
And could you talk about some applications that you're seeing for Soroban?
Sure. So I think like the really exciting thing with Stellar is because you already have this real world utility and you have these amazing financial building blocks, you can build products that are at the intersection of DeFi, decentralized finance, but also connected to the existing financial system. So Stellar has something that we call the Anchor Network. The Anchor Network is a global network of interoperable on and off ramps. And these range from small companies like N-Tokens, for example, in Brazil that allow you to move in and out of chain through PIX, which is like this local payment rail in Brazil, to bigger global players like MoneyGram, for example, that provides cash access in more than 300,000 locations around the world. And so with Soroban, what you can do is you can build a financial instrument that has direct access to these financial instruments. So one of the things that we demonstrated yesterday in the keynote is a collaboration between one of the wallets in the ecosystem. It's called Beans Wallet, and one of the protocols building on Soroban. It's called Blend, and Blend is like a savings account, like a DeFi savings account, a lending protocol. And so with that, any user can on-ramp through a MoneyGram cash agent directly into this DeFi product. So you have this beautiful cash to DeFi experience, very seamless, very fast, and it provides financial instruments that are not necessarily accessible all over the world. So, for us in the West, it seems pretty obvious that you can very easily open a savings account. In a lot of other places in the world, it's not obvious. So with Soroban, we're actually making that more accessible.
Now on to some Stronghold news. Stronghold has been exploding. It's very exciting, and for good reason. If you've been subscribed to this channel, we've gone over Stronghold quite a bit, actually. I've even shown people how to create trust lines and store SHX tokens on a DCENT wallet. So Stronghold is a token created on the Stellar network. It is a rewards token in the Stronghold ecosystem. So Stronghold is actually built on IBM WorldWire. So they're partnered with IBM, and they use Stellar protocol to get things done. So I'm going to go ahead and recap on this, but let's go ahead and check out the price right now. It's just been straight up exploding. As you can see, just in the past week, it's gone over 200%. That is incredible. And if we can see what it's done in the past day, over 55%. And this thing's just on a warpath. Look at it, past month, 300%. That is incredible. Merry Christmas to all those who have been holding strong. If you are going to decide to buy in on some SHX, what a friend would say is wait for it to come down. You don't want to buy into a parabolic pump. It's too risky. You know, wait until you see some serious red on a dip. And then if you buy it, I actually have a tutorial how to set trust lines. And I'm going to put the video in the description so you can check that out. So Stronghold is using IBM blockchain technology, which is built on Stellar Protocol, to create a financial infrastructure for the unbanked population in remote areas. Instead of using local currency to conduct transactions, the organization worked with IBM to create the Stronghold US dollar. It acts like a token on IBM Worldwide blockchain network, facilitating payment transactions to people and businesses in remote areas with weak local currencies. There's not just one, there's a few different use cases for Stronghold. And as these businesses and people transact using the IBM Worldwide US dollar, they have an option to receive rewards, and the SH token is one of those tokens. This is how merchants, businesses, and retail customers can earn. So merchants, as they pay processing fees, they earn SHX in return. Just a regular retail customer, they can buy products and services and earn SHX in return. Also use SHX to purchase. Businesses are incentivized to use Stronghold. For every dollar transacted through the Stronghold payment method, top venture capital funds will earn SHX rewards. Now we're going to hear from Sean Bennett, who's the co-founder and chief technology officer of Stronghold. It's on the FinTech Blueprint podcast where he explains his technology, his background. Impressive background. He actually originally worked with Ripple, so he has a lot of experience. Let's go ahead and give a listen.
Said that you grew up with remittance as like a family use case that was really important to you, that you saw the power of, and then you started in your technology work to come across crypto, and that led you towards, I assume, CoinEx. Can you talk a little bit about sort of what happened there, what was compelling to you, and what were the early hypotheses that you had?
Sure. So it was, 2011 is when I came across Bitcoin. And I remember seeing it when it was used as a donation vehicle to WikiLeaks. And it was actually my first year of medical school. And so I was interested in the idea of programmable money. I played around with it, but because it very much felt a different currency, it didn't feel like to me to be the answer to, the remittance problem that my mother had. When Ripple, or OpenCoin, finally went to open source their ledger, now called the XRP ledger, that's when the coin dropped for me, because, what they were proposing at the time was putting sovereign currency, so, good old US dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, whatever it happened to be, on top of blockchain technology. And it was at that point I thought, okay, this is something that I'm going to jump headfirst into. Because it, to me, that solved the problem of having that, disintermediation of the transfer, but it was still a currency that people knew and understood, and you wouldn't have to have the exchange problems. So it was really that made me decide to jump into the space. And so that's when I went ahead and started CoinEx, which was a stable coin issuer on top of the Ripple network. And so I issued those three stablecoins, US dollar, Australian, and New Zealand. And there were other stablecoin issuers on the network. So essentially you could on-ramp your funds in one country, send them to, another off-ramp, wherever that happened to be, Philippines, for example, off-ramp, and get the funds to that person a lot more cheaply and fast. So it was really the tokenization aspect that got me excited about the particular technology. On the network who were just like me, very, very technology focused. Marketing was poor. No one knew how to really acquire users without too many, remittance pathways open. Just the ability to send money anywhere in the world wasn't realized. There were very, very few actual corridors you could send money through. So I think the whole thing to me in hindsight felt like a great proof of concept for how the technology worked. The best thing I got out of it personally was connection into some of the organizations that were running there, as well as getting connected to Silicon Valley, because at the time I was still, in a college town in New Zealand. So that's what I really got out of it. Quite quickly, I think everyone realized, all the businesses who were early on there that, hey, we're not going to make revenue doing this right now. And so things started winding down, and I wound down CoinX mid-2015, I think.
I want to move us over to the next founding experience that you had. How did you get into that? What opportunity did you see? And what was the thread? It sounds like you saw the need for KYC, for regulatory compliance and things of that nature. Did that kind of light a new light bulb in your head, or how did you get to your next company?
So while I was running CoinX, Jed McCaleb left Ripple and started Stellar, right? And it was a fork of Ripple at the time. So the Stellar network, exactly the same integration, at least in their first version. So the day that opened, I launched my stablecoin issuer on the Stellar network. And so I was the very first issuer there. And that allowed me to form some relationships with them and some people at the organization. And so their first head of growth was Tammy Camp, who is now my co-founder at Stronghold. So that's how we met.
If you'd like to listen to the full thing, I'll put the link down below. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you did enjoy the content. If you did, please do subscribe so you can stay up to date. And don't forget, there's purchasing links to DCENT Wallet if you're interested in setting a TRUSTLINE so you can store SHX. All that information is in the description.